You know, remote work isn't just changing where we work anymore. For individuals with disabilities all across America, it is completely fundamentally transforming who gets to work. It's literally a game changer. So in this explainer, we're going to dive deep into the data, uncover the exact roles that are absolutely booming right now, and walk through the legal strategies you absolutely need to know to protect yourself. Let's get right into it.
Okay, right off the bat, you have to hear this incredible statistic. Post-pandemic, the employment rate for workers with physical disabilities shot up by an astounding 14%. 14%! That is not just some, slight bump in the numbers. This is a historic shift in workforce participation, and it's got economists and experts paying very, very close attention.
So, to break this all down, we're going to cover 5 key areas in this explainer today. 1. The remote work revolution. 2. Top remote job roles. 3. Inclusive companies hiring now. 4. Remote work as accommodation. And finally, 5. Preparing for remote success.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, the remote work revolution, breaking down the barriers.
Take a look at this. According to a working paper from the National Bureau of Economic Research, or NBER, the massive explosion in work-from-home opportunities actually caused 68 to 85% of the recent rise in full-time disability employment. Let that sink in. The researchers actually found that a 1 percentage point increase in work from home across an occupation boosted full-time employment by 1% for folks with a physical disability. Honestly, finding that kind of direct, one-to-one causal link in economic data, it's incredibly rare, and frankly, it's pretty mind-blowing.
See, what we're learning here is that remote work is not just some nice-to-have perk. It's a profound removal of physical and social barriers that finally lets a worker's true skills shine. Think about it. For so many disabled professionals, doing the actual job was never the problem. The problem was the exhausting, sometimes inaccessible commute, or the harsh fluorescent lighting in the office, or sitting for 12 hours in a rigid chair, or just the constant exposure to office-borne bugs and pathogens. Working remotely allows you to create a custom, ergonomic workspace where your performance is judged on what really matters, your actual, task-based output, not just your physical presence in a cubicle.
Moving right along to Section 2, top remote job roles, where the opportunities are.
So where are these jobs? Well, for those of you who really thrive in focused individual work, tech and data roles like software development, web development, and data analysis are absolutely ideal. Why? Because they rely so heavily on digital tools and standardized workflows. In fact, web developers and software engineers are among the most disability-inclusive remote career paths out there today. Oh, and here's a huge one. The demand for accessibility testers is growing like crazy. Folks with disabilities bring incredibly valuable, necessary perspectives to these roles to help companies build digital products that actually work for everyone.
Now, if you've got an eye for detail or maybe a real knack for communication, creative roles are where it's at. We're talking graphic designers, freelance writers, bloggers, proofreaders, translators, you name it. These jobs offer incredible flexibility, letting you set your own hours and work entirely at your own pace. You can literally collaborate with clients all over the world without ever having to step foot inside a traditional office building. And hey, for those of you who genuinely enjoy helping others, support and service roles are booming right now. Being a virtual assistant, an online tutor, or a customer service rep, these are all mainstream digital positions today. They allow you to engage globally right from your home office. Plus, the flexible scheduling in these roles makes it so much easier to manage personal health needs and medical appointments. It's a huge win-win.
All right, let's look at Section 3, Inclusive Companies Hiring Now. Corporate allies empowering talent.
So who exactly is hiring? The amazing thing is, major American companies aren't just handing out jobs. They're actively building supportive cultures. Just look at this list. CVS Health has its Capabilities Resource Group. John Deere has a group called Abled. AT&T is super proud to explicitly highlight that over 7,000 of their employees self-identify as disabled. And then you have places like Discover and Pfizer, which consistently score top marks on the Disability Equality Index. Why? Because they provide real assistive technologies, dictation software, and true remote work arrangements right out of the gate.
And the real-world impact of these initiatives? It is beautiful. Take Lori's story from the Ticket to Work program. For Lori, dealing with severe anxiety made trying to build a traditional in-office career incredibly difficult. It just wasn't working. But with the help of employment support services that guided her specifically toward remote work, she was able to successfully re-enter the workforce completely from the safety and comfort of her own home. Stories like hers are happening everywhere right now.
Now let's tackle the legal side of things. In Section 4, Remote Work as Accommodation.
protecting your legal rights.
Concentrate on things your disability doesn't prevent you doing well, and don't regret the things it interferes with. I love this quote from the brilliant physicist Stephen Hawking because it perfectly captures the spirit of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Think about it. A person can be brilliant, absolutely indispensable, and totally capable of doing the work with extraordinary skill, yet still face a workplace that was designed completely without them in mind. Hawking didn't let his inability to write on a chalkboard stop him. He adapted using technology. And you know what? That is exactly what remote work as an accommodation is all about.
However, if you are requesting this, you have to know that the law is very, very specific about how you ask. According to the employment law experts at Carey & Associates, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, or EEOC, requires that remote work must do a lot more than just improve your overall quality of life, or act as what they call a symptom mitigator. To actually win an accommodation under the ADA, you have to prove that working remotely explicitly enables you to perform the essential functions of your job. So remember, it's not just about comfort, it is entirely about capability.
So, to actually secure that accommodation, the burden of proof falls on you and your doctor, and you must guide your medical provider to document these 3 exact steps. They can't just scribble a vague doctor's note. That won't cut it. 1. They have to state your precise medical diagnosis. 2. They need to detail exactly how the physical office environment imposes functional limitations on you. And 3, this is absolutely crucial, they must explain exactly how remote work addresses those limitations and allows you to perform your essential job duties. Make sure you get every bit of this in writing. And hey, be persistent. Medical providers are busy and can sometimes be a little slow to draft these detailed letters, but you absolutely need this.
Which brings us to our final part, Section 5, Preparing for Remote Success, Actionable Steps for Your Career.
All right, before you sign that offer letter, starting a remote job requires a bit of prep to make sure you're fully protected. Here is your checklist. Always get your specific accommodations explicitly in writing. No verbal promises. Carefully verify your health insurance. Does their network actually cover your local specialized care? Establish a rock-solid backup plan for when your equipment or software inevitably fails. Double-check your tax classifications. Are you a W-2 employee with taxes withheld or a 1099 contractor? And finally, a big red flag. Avoid companies that demand fixed, inflexible login times without medical exceptions or those that use invasive keystroke tracking. You need an employer who respects true flexibility.
The tools, the laws, the corporate cultures, they are all finally aligning to make remote work a permanent, equitable reality. The disability employment gap is actively shrinking. So the only question left for you is, are you ready to design a work environment that fits your exact needs and leverage these amazing resources to build the career you truly deserve? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. From understanding your ADA rights to targeting those top tech and creative roles, you now have the blueprint. I really hope you leave this feeling empowered, equipped, and absolutely ready to take the remote job market by storm. But before you go, ask yourself this. If remote work can unlock this much incredible potential for the disabled community today, what does the truly borderless, perfectly accessible corporate boardroom of tomorrow look like? The future of work is inclusive, and folks, it is happening right now.